Hi, everyone. Mike over at Talamas Sales and Rentals. We're here to check out the latest short product, the ADX 5D dual receiver, portable receiver. I'm here with Ben Escobedo of Shure's application engineering team to go over this new product.
Thanks, Mike. We're really excited to be here. I've got the ADX 5D in my hand, and this is our portable Axient digital compatible digital wireless receiver. So in a nutshell, what we did, we took the dual, the 84D, yeah, 84D dual receiver, and we shrunk it into this little tiny package. Furthermore, we've added ShowLink to it. So if you look here, it's got the little nubby antenna, and that is for ShowLink remote control. If you're unfamiliar with the Axient digital ecosystem, we have this technology called ShowLink, which works over Zigbee, and it's in the 2.4 gig. It occupies similar space as Wi-Fi, but it's not Wi-Fi technology. And this allows us to remote control transmitters. You can do cool stuff like change any parameter you want remotely, or if you change a frequency on the receiver, the transmitter can change along with it. That opens up a whole new bunch of possibilities, especially when you're in charge of miking up talent and you want to make a change and not have to go bother them to get the pack back or whatever the case may be. So it's really awesome that we've taken all this technology and shrunk it into a much smaller package and just made it more palatable. So we're psyched. It's going to be great.
Yeah, definitely exciting. So this is a bit of a little new market. We did a lot with broadcasters live sound with Axient Digital. Can you explain the transmitters that will work with this receiver?
Sure, yeah. All the transmitters that work with Axient Digital, so we have body packs and handhelds, AD and the ADX series. For those new to the series, if it has an X in the part number, that means it has the ShowLink technology and therefore can do the remote control, if you will. Now, just to kind of step back, Mike brought up a good point. We are not necessarily newcomers to this segment. We've been in the FP mixers from years back, and we had the UR5 portable receiver. Yep. But as far as a digital product, it's not. This is like brand new, and it's kind of the last piece of the Axient digital ecosystem that ties everything together, if you will. And people have been waiting for it. So obviously, all the transmitters that worked with Axient Digital, no problem there. We also kind of the newer one. We have the I think the last live stream we did with Talamas was the 83, right? The plug-on. So yep. This is compatible. And somebody brought it up on another call recently about the, you might be aware of the Shure Q5X or Quantum 5X partnership, where Quantum 5X is known for the really microscopic transmitters that get sewn in jerseys of rugby and baseball and soccer players. And that is Axient Digital compatible as well. So those specialty microphones can be used with this system. Like if you need a waterproof mic, like a real waterproof mic that can go far underwater, and ones that are flexible and can be sewn into costumes or whatnot. So we have a whole ton of stuff. One thing that's really kind of cool about the whole thing, and I keep bringing up, is that, even before this ADX 5D product was released or announced, we were doing research. We saw a lot of, like, I would say A-lister, top level location sound cart people that are using Axient Digital in their rig for just these movies and episodic recording location sound. And the main thing is because it just sounds so good. It's so easy to use, the remote control, the ShowLink, the wireless workbench integration and all that. So they were actually taking the redundant power supply version, the DC version, which normally we do a lot of broadcast stuff, right? And broadcasters love the dual power supply for redundancy. They're like, well, gee, I could just power this up DC all day. And we're like, sure, why not? And all of a sudden we see all these things in carts and, top level movies and things like that are it's amazing. And now we've got that technology into this little package, and it's so cool.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive. Now, which frequency range does this cover?
Good question. So we have a lot of frequency ranges for the entire world. In the US, we're basically focused on the lower or what we can use that's left in the UHF. So this G57 or G57 plus, these ranges cover from about 470 to 616. There's a little slot there for the radio astronomy band, which we can't use, but one range to rule them all. It's like essentially if you get an Axient Digital in the US as G57 or G57 plus, it works with any other Axient Digital in G57 or G57 plus. Yeah.
Okay. And what about the range on this with the digital system?
Great question. A lot of people were wondering about that, especially as it compares to the full size rack units.
Yeah.
So, you know, we were getting early preliminary results that I've been hearing has been about 90 to 95% of the range of a similarly equipped Axiom Digital rack unit with
Oh, wow.
whips on it. So whip versus whip,
Yeah.
same transmitter. I've seen some walk tests. They're like almost is the same range, maybe just a little bit less. So you're not really giving up much by going to this form factor. And then keep in mind, these also have all the SMA antennas. So you can, you know, put this into a full-blown distribution if you wish, whether it's portable or you design it yourself or, you know, whatever the case may be. You could use full-size antennas with this if you want.
Okay, great. Now, is there a way to connect it to software like the wireless workbench, or do you have an app to monitor or control?
That's a great question, Mike. So yeah, a couple things. I'm glad you asked this. There are two different modes that the system can work in, and they're both referring to the show link mode. The first mode is called direct, and as the name implies, it means directly controlling transmitters that are attached to the unit. So if I pair up this body pack with this on channel 1, that's a direct control. If I make a change here on the frequency, it changes the transmitter and vice versa, right? The other side of the coin is our network mode. Now, this is for users that may have an existing Axiom Digital ecosystem with the rack units and the wireless workbench and an access point like the 8610, which is our show link. So how that works is that this becomes part of that network. This transmitter will get paired to your receiver, and then this receiver will wirelessly connect to your 8610 over show link, and it will be visible in Workbench. How we accomplish that is, of course, with a new version of Workbench, and there's a key that you can put in that is like an alphanumeric or whatnot, and it shows you if you get the same matching key, that means you can control that network. It's part of that network. Not to dive too deep in the tech slots, but this will take up one of your slots of your 24 channels that you can have on your access point, of course, to do that. But it does provide quite a bit of control. I have nothing to announce yet about I believe there's an app in the works as far as remote control, but I really can't comment on that right now.
Okay.
I don't have it, so.
Now, I know the full-size rack receivers, they have an HD mode. Will this have an HD as well?
Absolutely. All the stuff that you love and know about Axiom Digital, including HD mode, is available in this. HD, what Mike's talking about, is basically our high density mode. And instead of 17 channels per 6 meg TV station, we can do 47. So the spacing is a lot closer together, and if you need that channel density, you certainly can. Although I think a lot of users, you know, have no problem finding frequencies in the standard mode. But if you didn't need that kind of channel density, you could get it.
Okay, great.
The one feature that comes to mind that this system doesn't have versus the rack would be the Dante output. I mean, it has AES out and, you know, analog out and balanced and all that stuff. But as far as the Dante connectivity, that's something that built in it does not have. Of course, you could use an external AES3 or analog box to convert to Dante if you wanted to do so. We offer the ANI boxes in our series that can accomplish that.
Yeah. Now, can you do a scan on the receiver if it's just like a standalone?
Absolutely. I can show you how that works, actually. Just to talk about it, as part of the network thing, as a scan with a standalone, you can do it a couple different ways. You could do a group scan like you normally do, and it would do the devices that are paired to it. If you do a group scan while you're in network mode and all the other Axiom Digital stuff, it's really kind of cool. Like the first time I did this, it was kind of by accident, you know, poking around. I did a group scan and it was like connected to all my things, all my other Axiom Digital here. And it and I said, deploy, and it went boom, and it like deployed on my rack stuff too. Mike brings up a great point. Like I'll show you here. Actually, let me switch over to the camera here. I'll show you on this receiver. There are some new features that I haven't seen before with Axiom Digital, and one of them is there's a scan function that you can actually do like a spectrum scan, which is really kind of cool. This spectrum scan is new, and if you're into RF at all, like you tote around some sort of spectrum analyzer, or maybe you're using Workbench. Well, this kind of feature is built in, and it will actually scan the spectrum that you're in and kind of draw it out graphically for you on this little display. So instead of lugging around all that extra equipment or even firing up Workbench, you can visually see what's going on right here on the small display, which is pretty nifty. We haven't seen this before with Axiom Digital, but back to the whole deploying point and that kind of scanning and ability. Yes, if you have a bag of these, basically the workflow goes in direct mode is you would basically just do a scan on that one unit, and then if your transmitters are already paired up, fine, you just turn them on and they go to the new frequency over ShowLink. If they're not, you can sync them and then leave those on and do the next one and the next one. We're not too concerned about like intermod or calculating out a compatible set of frequencies because of the digital type of deal. So it's really quite a cool, easy to use thing. I mean, for the most part, you do a sync, you make sure you're on a clean frequency, you fire it up, and that's it. One thing we haven't talked about, and we often gloss over this with the Axiom Digital, is that all of the packs have no real gain control. It doesn't matter which one it is, it's automatic. So there's not anything that the user has to set in order to make sure you're not clipping or the level's good enough or not too hot, whatever. It takes care of that for you, which is really cool. There's such a wide amount of headroom in the converter here that you don't have to worry about it. So let me guess. So you don't have to worry about frequencies. You don't have to worry about levels. You basically have to worry if there's a fresh battery in here that's charged and put it on the talent, and you're good. And if you need to make any changes, you can do so right on the screen here. So this is taking a little bit because it's doing the whole spectrum, but I just wanted to show it to you because it's like a new thing, and we don't have this on any other Axiom Digital currently. So there it is. You can kind of see the close-up here of what the frequencies are, and you can scroll through it. There's a spike there, and I can go through this whatnot and find out what each spike is and that sort of thing if I want to in a very portable way. But kind of a quick demo, what I'd like to do is just show you, like, once you sync it up, if I go to like channel 1, and first thing here is sync, and I take my body pack here, my micro, and I'm just going to sync it up, and I have another transmitter there, but I'm going to overrate it. Now we're online, and just for illustrative purposes, I'm going to go to the audio menu and fire up the tone generator so we can see what's happening. And now you can see on the left side, there's some audio activity with the lights there, of course. And what a real cool kind of demonstration of the power of ShowLink is that if I turn this mic off now, which I will, you see the blue lights go out, right? And this is now off and dead. And now what I'll do is I'll just go to the channel 1 menu, and I will change the frequency to something else, like, I don't know, 510 instead, right? So I'll just change the frequency to something arbitrary. It doesn't really matter. But now when I turn this guy back on, it's going to fire up, it's going to wake up, and it's going to say, oh, I was associated with channel 1. You change frequency, I'm going to change too. So that just changed frequency to the new frequency without any intervention. Once I did that infrared sync one time, I no longer have to do it. So it's super powerful in that way. You can think of yourself like you go out to a shoot or you're using this in the field. You just do a scan on this and don't have to worry about the transmitters. When the transmitter is coming online, they're automatically going to go to that new frequency that you need and that you selected without any infrared sync or any other method of getting those over. So pretty earth-shaking stuff, I'd say.
Yeah, impressive system. Now, is there a way to update the firmware? And if so, is there a way to send it to the transmitters if you don't have a rack or use wireless workbench?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to go back over to the transmitter or the receiver view here. Now, if you look on the side, there's two, I have it upside down just for visual. There's two little flaps. One is your audio output, which has capabilities of listening to headphones, or you can monitor channel 1, channel 2, a combination of both, or you can use it as a balanced analog output or an AES-3 digital output. So those pesky cameras that can't take the second channel, if you know what I'm talking about, well, you can get it right from here, no problem. And now over here on the right, there's a USB-C, which is all the rage these days, right? Yeah. This USB-C connection allows you to do firmware updates. And how it works is nothing out of the ordinary, just like you normally do with Shure Update Utility. You basically connect it to your computer, fire up Shure Update Utility, it automatically downloads the right firmware for you, and you push it over to the receiver. Just like all Axiom Digital receivers, it stores the transmitter firmware as well. Mm-hmm. So if you're out in the field and you have a transmitter you got in your bag and you forgot to update it, no computer required. You just hold it in front of the IR infrared receptacle, and it will update your firmware on your transmitters as well.
Yeah, that's great. No more sending it back to the factory for some firmware.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Now I know that since it's portable, can you go over some of the different back plates? I know you could drop it in a camera.
Mhm.
What other options are there?
Great question. So there are three different backplates that are available for the system. I have on there right now the TA3, kind of mini XLR, if you will, and
Yeah.
Hirose. So that's the first one out of the series, and you get your two XLRs, your Hirose, and you can also have those either be analog or AES3, and you can
Okay.
have a redundant copy if you want, if you did two AES3s.
Yeah.
That's the first choice. The second one, of course, is your DD25, and this is your standard super slot compatible, that sort of thing. And then, of course, we have the DB15 for the cameras that require that as well. So these three back plates are, everything is kind of a la carte, depending on what you get. And, you buy the receiver itself first, and then you pick which back plate you want. We do have some other accessories that come in handy, like we have the Sony, this NP battery
Yeah.
sled. This guy goes right on top of here and to the TA3 plate and kind of locks in. You have a dual battery option. This is a small capacity one, but they get really large, of course. You probably have some.
Yeah, we have a lot of rentals.
Yeah, and there is also a camera plate, which is like a cold shoe mount that this can mount to and go on top of like a DSLR or mirrorless camera, 4K camera, that sort of thing. If you are going strictly battery powered. Now, half the thing is like a lot of people have their own rigs, right? They're going to have their own bag and their own battery distribution system, and that's fine. You can use a much larger, like 95 watt hour battery with the Hirose 4-pin if you want, or get creative. It doesn't draw very much power. I think it's like about 4 and change watts at 15 volt or something. So it's not really that power hungry. In fact, it's probably better than a lot of other the Axiom Digital rack units, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's great because we do a lot of work, with the smaller cameras now. Everything's getting smaller. The C300s, they're tiny and easy way just to throw it on top.
Nice.
Now, is there any latency? I know, obviously with wireless. Do you know what it is on this system?
I do. It's the same as all Axiom Digital products, which is approximately 1.9-ish milliseconds, so under 2, which is pretty industry leading in that kind of category. So latency shouldn't be an issue as far as that. It's definitely in the pocket. And, if the people ask also, what about the AES3 versus the analog? It's about the same. There's really not a time delay between the two. You're not going to gain a lot by going from the digital or the analog. They made a point to timeline those outputs as they come out.
Yeah. All right. That's great. Yeah. 1.9 is pretty low. So
yeah, it's like what, 2 feet away?
Yeah. And I assume this has encryption like the rack units.
Correct. So it does have all those features, encryption and also transmitter registration. So if you want to be super private and have a one-to-one kind of link, you can do that. On the flip side of that, you can also do one transmitter to multiple receivers. So in a reality TV show situation or reporters on the sideline type of deal, or you have a bunch of cameras trying to follow around a single talent, you can turn encryption off and also let any other Axiom Digital come through those frequencies. One nice thing about doing that is you can make a custom list of frequencies to flip through quickly, and you can actually see which the name of the transmitter is, because you can name a channel, but on Axiom Digital, you can also name the device itself with something called device ID. And this is an alphanumeric tag that you can put on. So as you're flipping through the channels, it'll pop up after a second saying, oh, this is Ben's mic or whatever. This is Mike's mic. Oh, I got the right transmitter. And it's super awesome for those, in the field trying to follow around, or maybe for redundancy purposes, you're trying to record, multiple spots at a time or multiple camera angles. A lot of options there.
Great. Now, working out obviously in the field with the portable, is this any like water resistant, or have you guys?
Maybe I haven't tried it yet. It's not something that's advertised as water resistant. It seems it's pretty well buttoned up, but I can't say that it's like waterproof or any of that. So I don't know what kind of claims I can make on that. I haven't checked it out. I mean, we do have, this is water resistant body pack, the micro, and we have fully waterproof ones like we talked about with the Q5X gear. This, I don't know if this has an IP rating that we're, willing to say it can do. Or whatnot. it looks pretty buttoned up though. Everything's got a rubber cover and all that.
Yeah, make sure that you get your camera case to go over everything.
Yeah, we do definitely test things. We got the advanced life cycle testing, and we put it through the ringer as we do with the 58 and all the other products we sell.
Oh yeah.
You can be pretty sure it's pretty tough. We wouldn't release it if it wasn't. So.
Yeah, definitely. Now these are in stock and ready to go.
Yeah, great question. We're taking orders right now. I mean, we were aiming for summer, saying shipping. They are shipping now. We do have a lot of interest in the product, as you can imagine, because it's like super popular and people have been waiting for it. So yes, get your orders in with Talamas right away, so you can get in the queue and we can get those orders out for you. We're trying to make them as fast as we can. It's probably a good time to bring up, the price of the unit, of what you get with all this, but wait, there's more. It's like, it's actually pretty palatable. So the receiver itself is like $2,500 typically. And that's, with no plate, just the receiver, the antennas and so forth. And then the two DB plates like these here with a DB25 or DB15, these are about 175 for that kit. And then the TA3 plate is 200. So, under $3,000, well under 3,000, you're going to get yourself like top of the line technology and compatible with all the Axiom Digital stuff and whatnot. Pretty excited to announce that, and we're pretty happy to be able to offer it to you for that. I think it's a good value, and it's really the pinnacle of wireless technology, whether it's portable or on the stage or at the broadcaster or on Broadway, whatever. It's really awesome wireless. It's great. Yeah,
it definitely is. Now we got a couple of questions. First one is, will we see a ShoreLink plug-on, like an X series plug-on, or for boom mics? Or
well, we have the 83, of course, as you know. We're always working on new and exciting things at Shure, so you never know. I can't confirm or deny if we have a 80X3 in the works, but again, we're always working on new stuff, so you never know.
Well, the second part to that question is, or a bell pack with phantom power, which would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting concept. I know exactly what we're going with that. We do see a lot of I would say a lot of users that instead of using an 83 will use an ADX1, which is the high powered digital body pack with ShoreLink, and they'll use that with some sort of phantom power inline device that takes batteries, and then that goes to a microphone. And I've seen that on the end of a boom pole on like a cheese plate type of deal. And I mean, the idea is like, this is great and all, but they're trying to solve the problem of adding ShoreLink to your boom workflow.
Exactly.
And that's one way you can accomplish that right now. Again, I can't confirm or deny ADX3. It would be cool if we did have one, that's for sure. And duly noted, you're not the first one to ask. So we definitely relay that information back to the team, and who knows, maybe we'll come through. We'll see.
And then another question is, they're asking if the batteries are proprietary on the transmitters.
Okay, great question. Yes, so the batteries, we have two different series, the AD, as we mentioned, and then the ADX, right? So the AD are AA battery, disposable alkalines, or you can use the optional SB900 battery, which is a rechargeable 2 AA type of pack. All the ADX series transmitters are a good value because you get 2 rechargeable batteries in the package. And yes, they are all different. They are all for a specific microphone model. So ADX2, ADX1, ADX1M, all of them use its own proprietary battery. And that's reason is for twofold. I mean, just to keep the size to whatever the size and the form factor may be. Plus you get all the battery telemetry, like, letting you have 5 hours and 42 minutes or whatever the case may be of time left, right? That's a Shure kind of staple that we really perfected that technology, battery health, and all that cool stuff. But yeah, you get yourself a receiver here. You buy some ADX transmitters in the package. You get 2 batteries with every ADX transmitter. So you have one in the pack and one in the charger, for example. And we've got a whole ton of different charging options, from rack mount to portables. We even offer like I think Mike's seen it, the little square. I wish I don't know if I brought it. But it's like, it can fit in your bag and be powered off a DC, off your BDS or whatever, and you can use it completely portable, which is awesome.
Yeah, the rack chargers are great too. Keeps everything nice and neat in one single rack.
Yeah, plus the networking is cool. If you ever hook it up to Workbench, you can see like time to charge, battery health, how many times it's been charged, all that stuff, and really be confident that your battery is going to last. I mean, those that are migrating from disposable batteries to rechargeables have those reservations, and we totally understand. And the reason that we made it this way is that to give the user confidence that you're going to not run out of battery during a shoot, right? I mean, that's like when you're doing your location sound or you're recording, you're like, make sure the audio sounds good and make sure the battery is lasting. Those are like the top two things, right, that you gotta be worried about. So
yeah, and it's great that you can monitor it in the software too. I know you can set up alerts, which I know some customers do.
Yeah.
If it gets a certain percentage, something pops up.
Absolutely.
So I think that's all the questions we have coming in. Is there anything else you wanted to mention, or?
I think we covered pretty much everything. Basically we took everything, we shrunk it down, we put it into this form factor. It's available. We're excited about it. It kind of completes the puzzle. The one thing I didn't talk about, it's kind of I'm trying to think, you could use this as a utility piece as well. Like if you ever needed to catch Axiom Digital, a digital wireless signal, for example, like at a venue and you wanted to put a speaker outside or something that was battery powered, you could use this device to catch a digital, high quality Axiom Digital low latency signal, and then put that speaker outside for whatever the case may be, or whether on a location shoot or at a wedding or at a bar band that needs sound outside or something, you could use it in this instance, which is pretty cool. I've also seen people use it already during testing as like a audition piece. Like if you're in charge or you're A2 and you've got to make sure all these mics sound good and there's no clothing noise and stuff, you can put this on your belt and flip through the frequencies you got already pre-programmed in there and audition them with headphones and listen, and you got yourself a little portable Axiom Digital confidence monitor to make sure that all your mics sound good. I mean, I'm sure that we talked about this earlier. I think one of the coolest things is seeing how the end users actually use a product like this, because we design it one way, we expect it to do this and that, but seeing your rigs and how you put them together and like solve these issues by complex, like just different out of the box thinking is really cool to me. And I love to see that.
Yeah, I like that headphone jack on there for monitoring. That's a neat feature.
Absolutely, yeah, it's pretty neat. And like we said, you can do anything you want, AES or that balanced XLR. It even has the talk switch capability if you want to use that, and talk about the encryption and just high, great quality audio. I mean, great sounding, good value, easy to control. A lot less things that you have to worry about, including transmitter gain and all that stuff. And it's awesome. I'm glad to have it, and we could finally talk about it publicly today, which is great because we've been working on this for quite a while, and we've been really getting some great feedback from real users like yourself in the field, and learning a lot about their workflow and what is important, what is not important, and really trying to put that into the product to make it all it can be.
Yeah, definitely. It's an impressive unit and system, the whole ecosystem.
Absolutely. Yeah. So.
Then Jim's asking if you could shred on your flying V.
Shred on the flying V. Yeah, I was playing the telly a little bit earlier this morning. Kind of going back to the basics, just a couple pedals and just shredding it up. I don't know how the sound quality would be, but maybe some other time.
Yeah. Well, thank you for taking your time and going over everything and answering my questions and the customers' questions. So. If anyone has any questions, you could email us at sales@talamas.com or give us a call. We're happy to help get your orders in, and we'll get these out on the street.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. It was fun talking to you.
All right. Thank you.